Okay, so we'll solve some examples on bending moment diagram and involving drawing the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram. And then I'll introduce the concept of singularity functions, which can be used to determine the shear force and bending moment in computer programs. Using so the first example is we have this beam which is subjected to a uniformly distributed load. The distributed load magnitude is Q naught. It is probably Newton per meter or some kip per feet or pound per inch, like that. So this is simply supported beam with a span of length L. Yeah, it is a simply supported beam. The span of length L. So what happens is the reactions we can calculate first. So the total downward load is Q naught times L. So half of that will come at here at support A, and half of that load will come at support B. So reaction at A is Q naught L by 2, and reaction at B is also Q naught L by 2. So to draw the shear force diagram, what we can do, so this is a distributed load. Let's cut a small cross section just to the right of A. So that cross section is shown here. So we have that reaction A, and on the right surface we have downward reaction, downward shear force VA and moment MA, and QDX will be acting on the top surface. But the thing is that the delta x is very small, so that QDX you can take it to be 0. So what will happen is we have RA is equal to VA, and MA, which is RA times del x, which is also which will be 0. So we will get VA is equal to Q naught L by 2. So the shear at location A is Q naught L by 2. So what we can do, we can draw the shear, we can represent the shear quantity here. So it is Q naught L by 2. And at B, what will happen is there is Q naught L by 2 acting in the upward direction. So if you look at that figure, if you cut a cross section just to the right of B, left of B, then we have RB here, and at that section, our representation for shear, that positive convention will be V upward and M in the clockwise direction. So, and again, this distance del x is very small. We can, it is just immediate right, immediate left. So del x can be treated as 0. And so what will happen is RB plus VB is 0. So we'll get VB is equal to minus Q naught L by 2, and MB is 0. Okay, so the shear force at B will be a negative value, minus Q naught L by 2. So how to draw the diagram? So at A it is plus Q naught L by 2, and at B it is minus Q naught L by 2. And here what is Q? It is a constant. So we have the relation dV by dx is equal to minus Q naught. So the change slope of the shear force diagram is equal to the minus of the negative of the distributed applied distributed load. So here applied distributed load is constant. So and it is positive. So minus Q naught will be negative. So from point A to point B, there will be a uniform decrease in the shear. The rate of decrease is uniform. So we can join this plus Q naught L by 2 and minus Q naught L by 2 with a straight line, and the straight line will intersect at the center C. Okay, so we can calculate. Yeah, we can get the equation for this line using that change in shear force is equal to the area under the load deflection curve, area under the distributed load. So suppose we want to find V at any cross section. So V minus VA is equal to minus integral 0 to x q dx. So Q is constant, so it will be Q naught x minus Q naught x, and VA is Q naught L by 2. So V will be Q naught times L by 2 minus x. Okay, so using this relation also we can get shear force at B. If we substitute x is equal to L by 2, we get minus Q naught L by 2. So the shear force variation is a linear variation is happening, and then we have positive shear force before the midpoint, and after the midpoint there is a negative shear force. Okay, so now we can draw the bending moment diagram. So to calculate the bending moment diagram, we'll use this relation. M minus change in the bending moment is equal to the area under the shear force diagram. Okay, so what is the MA here? MA is 0, And let's calculate what is the bending moment at this point, center. So the area under the shear force diagram we can calculate. It will be Q naught L by 2 into L by 2 by 2. So it will be Q naught Q naught L square by 8 of BH. So Q naught L square by 8 is the bending moment at this. So that is the area under the curve. And if you see here, the dV by dx value, the shear force value is 0 there. That means we know V is equal to dm by dx. That means dm by dx value is 0. So here the slope value is 0, and this also means that the bending moment there is maximum, and after that it will start decreasing. Why does it start decreasing? Because the area of the curve here is positive. So as you move towards the center, the area will keep increasing, and then as a result, bending moment will keep increasing. And after we move towards from point C to the right, then there is a negative area coming, and as a result, the total area plus minus positive and negative will so that value will start reducing. So the bending moment will start reducing. So here the area under the curve is increasing, and after that, because of the negative value, the area will start decreasing, and it will finally go to 0. So the same thing, we can get the equation for the bending moment diagram by writing this change in bending moment is equal to area under the shear force diagram. So at MA is 0, so M is equal to integral 0 to x q into the line of shear force is L by 2 minus x. The line representing the shear force is L by 2 minus x. So M is equal to Q naught Lx by 2 minus x square by 2. So we can take half to the out, and we get Q naught into Lx minus x square. Okay, so we can differentiate this term also, and we get Q naught by 2 L minus 2x, and again the maximum x, we get x is equal to L by 2 for dm by dx is 0. So again that corresponds to the center. So yeah, this is a very straightforward example. So the main take home point is you can just look at that reactions and the loads and then directly draw the shear force diagram. Or the other thing is you can use your integration. You can use your this equations of relating the shear force and the distributed load, or equation relating the bending moment with the distributed load, and get a closed form analytical solution, and then you can plot that analytical solution. So either way, but our main quantity of interest are usually these maximum bending moments. So for a uniformly distributed load, the maximum bending moment is occurring at the center, and that value is Q naught L square by 8, and at that point the shear force is 0, and the maximum shear force are occurring at the supports. It is Q naught L by 2 and Q naught L by 2, so plus and minus. So we can go to another example. So in this example, we have a beam with a overhang. So on the overhang, there is a distributed load of 22 kilonewton per meter acting in the downward direction. And at point B, which is at 1.8 meters from the left edge, we have a force of 90 kilonewton. And at point C, which is at 1.8 plus 2.4 meters from the left edge, we have 54 kilonewton acting in the downward direction. So we are asked to find what is the we are asked to draw the shear force diagram and the bending moment diagram. So first thing is we will identify the support reactions RAX, RAY, and RDY, and then we'll determine what is RAY, RDY, and RAX. So there is no horizontal force acting on this beam, so RAX is 0. And what is RAY and RDY? So to calculate RAY, no, what we will do to calculate RDY, we can apply moment equilibrium about point A. So what will happen? This distributed load, we can treat it as a single concentrated. The resultant will be a single concentrated load acting at the center of D and D. Okay, so now we can find out what are the anti-clockwise movements and what are the clockwise movements. So 90 kilonewton, 54 kilonewton, and this resultant of the distributed load will produce a clockwise movement, and RTY will produce a anti-clockwise movement about point A. So we can write that anti-clockwise movement RDY into 7.2 meters, that is a distance between that is distance AD, minus all the anti-clockwise movements. So 22 into this length, D is 2.4. So 22 into 2.4, and what is the distance from A? So it will be AD plus half of DE. So it will be 7.2 plus 2.4 by 2. And 54 is located at 1.8 plus 2.4. So and 90 is located at so the lever arm is 1.8. So from this we can do the calculations and we get RDY, that is reaction at this support to be 115.6 kilonewton. Okay. And then we can apply the vertical equilibrium. RAY plus RDY is equal to the net downward force. So it will be 90 plus 50 plus 22.4, and RAY we can calculate, it is coming around 81.2. So we have found the reactions. So once we found the reactions, then the rest of drawing the shear force diagram is straightforward. So what we can do, you can cut a section between A to B and analyze, and you get V value, and then from that again you cut a section between B and C, and then you analyze the left segment and you can get the V value. So like that you can do. Or there is another way which I'm telling you. What you can do, here you have RAY. So if, when you first you draw a horizontal line representing the axis of the beam, and at A there is a reaction RAY coming. So because of that, the shear force will jump to 81.2, that is equal to RAY. And between A to B there is no distributed load acting, so Q is 0. So when Q is 0, that means dV by dx, the change in slope of the shear force diagram is 0. So from A to B there will be a constant shear force of 81.2, and then at B there is a 90 kilonewton load acting downward. So as a result, the shear force will drop down from 81.2 by 90 units downward. So as a result, it will go from a positive value to a negative value, and we get a value of minus 8.8. So 81.2 minus 90 is minus 8.8. Again, from B to C, there is no distributed load, so Q is 0, and as a result, there is no change in the slope of the shear force. There is no change in the shear force. The slope of the shear force is 0, and there is no change in the shear force. So from B to C, it will be a constant value of minus 8.8. Again, at C, there is a downward load of 54. As a result, there will be a sudden negative increase in the shear force. So from minus 8.8 plus minus 8.8 minus 54, it will be minus 62.8. So from C to D, again, it will be a constant value with the slope 0. And at D, what is happening? We have RDY acting. So RDY value is 115.6. So again, this RDY, because of that, there will be a jump in the shear force, and the value will go from negative to positive. So minus 62.8 plus 115.6, you will get 52.8. So the shear force, there is a jump. And here, what happens between D to E? Between D to E, there is a distributed load acting, and that is constant. So dV by dx, that value is equal to minus Q. So we are having a constant negative slope from D to E. We already know that shear force at E is 0. So this point is 0, and at D it is 52.8, and the slope is constant. So we can join this 52.8 and 0 by a straight line. And if you calculate the value of the slope, it will be 22. So what you can do, you can just calculate 22 into 2.4. What you will get? 22 into 2.4, you will get 52.8. So the slope of this line will be 52.8 by 2.4, it will be again 22. So yeah, so you will get a straight line here. So this is the shear force diagram for this set of forces acting on this beam. Now, once we know the shear force diagram, we can calculate the bending moment diagram. So how to do it? It's like, if you know the acceleration, you can calculate the velocity. So you can think of this as acceleration, and if you want to find the velocity, you have to find the area under the curve. Or you can think of this as velocity, and if you want to find the displacements, you have to find the area under the curve. So I think you can think of it as a velocity term, shear force, and bending moment diagram as distance. I think that will be fine. Okay, so we'll draw the bending moment diagram. So for drawing the bending moment diagram, first we know that bending moment at A is 0. So MA is 0, and we also know at D it is, at E it is 0, because at E it is 0 and at A it is 0. So let's start from A. So from A to B, what is happening? As the section moves to the right, there is a increase in the area under the shear force diagram. So bending moment will increase as you move from A to B, and that we know. So we can calculate what is MB. So MB minus MA is equal to area under the shear force diagram. So MB minus MA is equal to that 81.2 into the length of AB, which is 1.8. So we are getting 146.2 kilonewton meter because MA is 0. So we have located that point MB. Now what will be, how will you join A and this MB value with MA? So we know dm by dx is equal to V. That is slope of the bending moment diagram is equal to the shear force. So here dm by dx is equal to 81.2. It is a constant. So the slope of the bending moment diagram is a constant. So we have to join this 2 points, this point and this point, with a straight line. Now between B to C, what is happening? We are having a negative shear force. As a result, there will be a decrease in the bending moment because the area under the curve will be negative. So we have to calculate what is the value of MC. So we'll use MC minus MB is equal to minus 8.8 into 2.4. So the shear force, area under the shear force diagram, which is minus 21.1. So MB is 146.2. So we'll get MC is 125.1. So from MB, there is a decrease, and we are getting MC is 125.1. So how do you join this MB and MC? Again here, V, which is dm by dx, is negative. Okay, and it is a constant value. So we have to join these 2 points by a straight line, and the straight line will have a negative slope because there is a decrease from B to C. Now next we'll calculate what is MD. Again, we'll calculate the area under this curve between shear force diagram between C and D. So area will be minus 62.8 into CD. So we'll have MD minus MC is minus 62.8 into CD, which is 3 meters. So we'll get minus 188.4. So MC is what? 125.1. So if you do that calculation, minus 188.4 plus 125.1, we get minus 63.3. So the bending moment is now negative. So it has gone below the x-axis. So beam axis. So here we have MC 125.1 and MD is minus 63.3. Again, how do you join these points MC and MD? Because slope, which is slope of bending moment diagram, is shear force, which is constant. So we have to draw a straight line, and this straight line will have an obviously it will have a negative slope. Okay, so we have now found out MD value. Now what we have to do? Let's check what is ME value if we do the area under the shear force diagram calculation. So what is this area? It is 52.8 into DE length by 2. Okay, so let's calculate that value. So ME minus MD is equal to, it's a positive value. The area of the triangle is positive. So half into 52.8 into 2.4. So you're getting 63.3. So if you substitute 63, if you send that MD value to the right, it will be 63.3 minus 63.3, and you'll get ME is 0. So it is okay. Our calculation is okay. So we already know that bending moment at E is 0. So this we are again getting the same thing, ME is 0. Now the question is, how do you connect this MD with ME? So should we connect it with a straight line, or what to do? We don't know. So if it is if the shear force, if we look at the shear force diagram, it is the shear value is decreasing. That means dm by dx value, initially it is very high, and then as you go towards E, the value of dm by dx is reducing. Okay, so if you look at D, which is minus 63.3, there the dm by dx value is a large value. It is equal to 52.4 or 52.8, and as you move towards E, the slope is reducing. So our line will be like this. So it will be such a way that although it is increasing, although it is moving towards the x-axis, the value of the slope is reducing. And what happens at E? At E, the shear force is 0. That means the slope of the bending moment diagram there will be 0. So finally this curve will look like this, and at E, the dm by dx will go to 0. So this is how we draw the curve. So from MD to E, we are having this concave, it's convex or concave. We are having this curve, and here we'll have positive slope, and at E we'll have a 0 slope. Okay, so that is how we represent the bending moment diagram between D and E. There is another way to find the equation of this curve. To do that, what we will do is we will cut a section in between D and E, and then we will analyze the right part of the section. So we have cut a section and we are looking at the right part. So this is edge. So edge, there is no reaction there because the free end. We have the distributed load equal to 22 kilonewton per meter. The resultant is 22. The length of the section is x. So the net resultant force will be 22 times x, and it will be acting at x by 2 from the left edge, or it is acting at the center of this segment. So it's x by 2 from the left edge. So what we can do, we can we at right left hand surface we have shear force V and bending moment M. So according to the positive sign convention, the shear force V will act in the upward direction on the left surface, and M will act in the clockwise direction. So that is why we are representing that like this. So now we can calculate the bending moment by taking moment about this left surface. So we have 22x into x by 2 plus M. Both are acting in the clockwise direction. So we'll get M is equal to minus 11x square. So from E, where it is starting, bending moment is 0. As we move towards D in the negative way, and at D will be minus 11 into 2.4 square, so minus 63.3. So it's a parabola. So we're getting this curve like this. So if you see this curve, it is pretty much what we get by that reasoning that dm by dx is equal to shear force, which is decreasing. As a result, the slope will decrease and it is going to 0. So both are logically consistent. Okay, so this is the way we can draw the bending moment diagram for this sector, for this overhang beam with distributed load and concentrated loads. Okay, so we can now do another example, and I'll take a very small break and start this example after that. Okay, so let's start that second example. Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll start that example. So what we are having here? We are having a cantilever beam. So cantilever beam, one end is free and the other end is fixed. So we have a distributed load, triangularly distributed load acting between A to B. So the length of AB is A. The total span is L. So we want to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. So what we can do, we can cut a cross section here and do the analysis. So first thing we can identify is that at A, the shear force is 0. So we can cut a small segment just to the near A, and that segment length is delta x. So there is distributed load Q naught, we can assume to be constant in that delta x area. So Q naught delta x. And on the right surface, we have VA downward and MA in the anti-clockwise direction. So VA will be minus Q naught del x, and MA will be Q naught del x square by 2 plus MA will be 0. So MA is minus Q naught del x square by 2. So again, because we are very close to A, we can assume del x to be 0, and we get VA is 0 and MA is 0. So at A, there is 0 bending moment and 0 shear force. Okay, so with this information, we can now do our calculation for finding the shear force. So the change in shear force is equal to minus negative of the area under the distributed load. So integral A to B dB is equal to minus integral A to B Q dx. So we find what is the change in shear force between B and A. So VB minus VA is equal to minus of area of this triangular distributed load. So it's Q naught into A by 2. Okay, so VB will be minus Q naught A by 2. So yeah, that is right. And then from B to C, what is happening? There is no distributed load, so there will be no change in shear force. Okay, from B to C, there is no point load also acting in between, so there will be no change in shear force. So VC will be equal to VB, and it will be minus Q naught A by 2. Okay, so we have, now we can draw the shear force diagram. At A it is 0, at B it is VB, which is minus Q naught A by 2, and at C it is minus Q naught A by 2. So how do you join B and C? We join with a straight line, because the slope is 0 there. So the slope is 0, so we draw it a horizontal line. And between B to A, how to join the curve? So to do that, how to do it? So we have to see here what is slope of dV by dx. So dV by dx is minus q. Okay, so it is a negative value, because q is positive, we are having a negative value. And what is happening for the as we move towards B, the value of q naught is decreasing. That means the negative slope is reducing. Okay, so from A, we are having a negative slope, and that value is reducing as we move towards B. Okay, so we can draw a curve in this fashion. And at B, what is happening? The q is going to 0. That means the slope of dV by dx will be 0. So we can have a curve which is in this fashion. Okay, so at VB it is 0, and at A we are having a negative slope, and there is a transition from that negative slope to a 0 value. And then we can calculate what is the bending moment diagram. To calculate the bending moment diagram, we have to look at the shear force diagram, and then we have to calculate the area under the shear force diagram to find the change in bending moment. So what is the change in bending moment between B and A? So at A it is 0, and at B it is MB. So what is MB value? So we have integral A to B dm is integral A to B V dx. So MB minus MA is equal to the area under this curve. Okay, so to find the area under the curve, we have to do some calculations, because I think we cannot directly get that. We have to find the shear force curve. Okay, so what is the shear force between A to B? The distribution we have to find, and how to get that? We have to do that calculation for shear force. So V is equal to minus dV by dx is minus q. So V is equal to, yeah. So we have to do this calculation. V is equal to minus integral q dx. So if we do that, so so V is equal to minus V is equal to q dx. So q naught into 1 minus x by a, and we will get q naught into x minus x square by a to a. So that is the curve equation for this curve, q naught into x minus x square by 2a. So if you know that, if you see that curve, it is a parabola. So if you draw that curve, so I'm showing minus v on the y-axis and x on the beam axis here. So at A is 0, at A x is equal to 0, so v is 0, and at B it is L by at A, so it will be q naught into a minus a square by 2a, which will be minus q naught a by 2. Okay, so we have to find the area under this curve. So the area under the curve we can get by using this formula. Area is equal to 2 by 3 BH. You should see that we have to make sure that at B the slope is 0. Otherwise we cannot apply this formula. So area is equal to 2 by 3 BH. B is A, and height value is minus Q naught A by 2. So we get area under the curve as minus Q naught A square by